Hello. So I have a Microhard Bullet Plus router here. It's connected to this computer. Um, these are little LTE enabled devices that I use for work on a daily basis, and I found a security hole, and I just wanted to go over it super fast. So I'm going to SSH into the router. It just has admin password as the credentials right now. Um, the first problem is actually that is default enabled whenever the user or customer gets these devices, and the user has to turn it off in order to be safe. And a lot of the times, at least with my company, I've seen that they're not turned off by default. It's been missed, and just in searching around, I see that that's a common problem. So that's the first problem. That's not what I'm here to show you today, but we're just going to SSH into it first. Um, I'm just going to use password. So the problem is here. So you're given a like not a shell. So like this is ls is in a command. Who am I is nothing, right? Like so we're not really given a shell. We're given this command line interface instead. And I believe that's for security purposes. So that's what we're going to poke a hole in today is this command line interface that we're given. So looking at their documentation on this command line interface, ATL is how we're going to list our commands that we can actually run here. ATL gives me all of these in here, which obviously you could still do some damage if you got to this, but I believe it's set up so that you can't, obviously you don't get a full root shell or anything out of this. One of the things I noticed in here, we don't have anything that would give us like a command line. You're welcome to go through and look and pause, but there's nothing in here listed, at least, that would give us a command line. Now, I grabbed the firmware for this. I extracted the firmware, and I'm just going to skip and tell you that there's a command in here that is not listed, but it does work. So mbash command. So this is not listed in here, but it is a command, right? So they didn't list it in the documentation, but it works. So we're gonna run a bash command. Let's say we'll run ls, right? It says unsupported bash command. So in their script here, they have something that checks which commands you're running, and it turns out that the only two commands that are allowed to run are ps and cat. And well, you can't really do lots of damage with cat, right? Because all you can do is read files. Well, that's technically wrong. So like if I try like who am I, unsupported. If we try echo, unsupported, right? So but with cat, what we can do, I think whoever wrote this didn't check they didn't check what would come after the command. So because it's ash running under the hood here, we can use a semicolon and run whatever we want. Aha! So now, now we can get in this way. Now with this, obviously you can do kind of whatever you want, except they have in their command, you'll see here in a second, they have redirected everything to standard error. Well, not standard error. They have redirected everything to dev null. So you can't really write, like we can't go echo hi to test.txt. It will echo hi to here, but if we just do cat ls, test.txt exists now, you can see there, but if we go cat test.txt, it's empty. So we can't really write using echo. And so I had to kind of get around this, but what I did was, so let's do cat, let's do etc password. Oh, okay. And here's where it kind of clicked what I needed to do. So we have root that's going to bin false. Everything is going to bin false here except admin, which goes to this script. That's this sh script located in etc mcli. So now let's read what's in the script. All right, so let's go etc/m cli mcli.sh. Oh, okay, so we're reading bin sh. All right, so they're doing something here with the PID. Then they have this part right here. They have this commented line out. Maybe that's old. CLI test right here. That to me that looks like what we're probably running in, and this is where they've redirected everything to dev null. At least that's my understanding. I'm not really a bash guy, but this was probably what we were interacting with here in this user device menu. So this is where I said, okay, well, if I can't see anything, what if we just do, let's run our cat command so that it accepts our command, and let's run a sed command to replace that, and I have the command here. So basically, let's see, I'll explain it here in a second, mcli/mcli.sh. All right, so we are running a sed command to replace CLI test with bin ash new line CLI test. So we're keeping CLI test in there, but we're adding a bin ash command. From my other testing, bash isn't on here, so we're going to run ash, and we're going to replace that in etc mcli.sh. So let's run this, and now if we run our cat on mcli, okay, now we have inserted bin ash in there before CLI test. So what that's going to give us, if we exit out of this now, and then let's go back into it, and password again, guess what? Now we have a root shell. Who am I? Well, I guess who am I isn't on here, but ls, guess what? Now we're here. Now we have a shell where we can do whatever we want. And that's how I broke the command line on this Microhard router. It was kind of a little bit of fun. Obviously, it took me a lot longer than that to break it, but I wanted to break it for another reason. It's because they have their config file that you download for the router configuration is encrypted, and in the firmware that I had extracted, it doesn't include the encryption key. So I wanted to get the encryption key because it's obviously the same for each router. Otherwise, the router wouldn't be able to have a configuration copied from one router to another. So in order to get that encryption key, I needed some software that was, well, I needed the firmware that was already running on the machine to get that encryption key. And but I needed a root shell to be able to, go see what it was. And I'm not going to show that in this video, but that's the reason why I needed to break it. So obviously we're here now. Everything works as normal. Obviously, like this is a full shell. We have, I believe we have top even. Yeah, we have top. So yeah, that's how I broke it.